So in previous session, we have discussed about response classes, validations. That means how do you give validation kind of messages by storing the variables and storing in one .ts file, and how to export that .ts file, and how to import that variable validation related variables in respective areas, and why we want to create response classes. In order to maintain the key names uniformity, we go for response classes. Okay. And exception handling, how do you implement that? And DB connection. Okay. And how do you write insert, select, update, delete queries? Now, routing. So routing is very, very important concept in Node.js. Okay. So if you understand this routing, then you can easily go through the particular API method. Otherwise, it is it is difficult to find the API method. Okay. So first of all, what is routing means? Routing refers how an application's endpoint responds to client request, and it will it is the mechanism that Node.js server understand where to send each request. Okay, whenever we give that API URL, okay, and we can understand that by seeing this URL, we can understand that where that particular API method exists, and it will have some multiple features, and we can maintain code cleanly. That is called clean code organization, and proper handling of different URLs and HTTP methods. Okay, and routing that defines multiple requests can be easily differentiated. Each request to the backend is eventually executed by a controller. A list of routes is defined which maps a given request to a controller and an action. Okay, so here y means, see here how many methods are there, just observe. Almost 10 methods are there, 10 to 15 methods are there. Okay, see, this is a practice session. So I have created 10 API methods in app.ts file. Without routing also, you can develop the application. Okay. Suppose consider a project which have several modules. I will take one example. So project have 10 modules. Okay. So each module will have 10 APIs. So total number of APIs, 1000 APIs. Okay. See, if you write 100 APIs in app.ts file, somewhat difficult to find our required API methods sometimes. Okay. So imagine that 10 modules are developed, 1000 APIs are there in this app.ts file. That looks like clumsy. So in order to maintain clean code, or you can, in order to give different API URLs, then it's better to go for routing. That too, suppose 10 modules are there. Okay. For each module, 100 APIs are there. And for module M1, for one module, 10 API developers are writing the code. Imagine that. Okay. So imagine that same file, app.ts file only, we are using for writing APIs. Okay, so 10 members are frequently used to give, pull, and take the push from the Git. Okay, some code match kind of thing. So such kind of errors will get. Why? Because all are working on the app.ts file only. Okay, so that too, we cannot give same method name for all some APIs. Okay, so for that purpose, see this proper handling of different URLs and HTTP methods. So for that, we will go for routing. So how to create routing? Okay, so here I am taking one example like so this is API URL. Okay, so we have already written some API methods: insert, select, update, delete, and we have tested it also. Okay, so I am doing that. I will create routing and take all these APIs and put in one file, and then we will check same APIs only. So first of all, I have prepared some steps for routing. If we follow these steps, then we will achieve the routing functionality. First of all, controller emp controller.ts. That means I will create one controller folder. So everything we need to do inside the src folder. Okay. So I am going to create one controller folder. Next, emp controller.ts. Okay. Inside this controller, I am going to give emp controller.ts. Okay. And then so here I need to write some code. Import express. Here I'm importing router module and constant router equal to router. So export equal to router. Okay. So inside that we can write the all APIs like up to this. I'm going to cut and copy here. Okay. So here initially we have write like app.post, but here I have clearly written that router. Okay. So that replace router in the place of app. Okay. And see, you can go and add import. And it is defining error. Yes. And next, again, we are getting error here. So go to this quick response and utils slash response. Yeah, now it is fine. So error messages. Again, it is defining error. So utils slash error message. And somewhat go to the quick fix and select. Okay. Now there are no errors. After that, so here you can write, here I am writing 4 APIs inside this EMP controller. Assume that this is one kind of module. Okay. Suppose if you want to write APIs for another module, then you can create one more controller, or in that controller you can write it. Okay. And I'm going to create one api.ts file. This is the main file for all the controllers. Okay. So here I'm going to write import from express. So this is the origin file for controller files, api.ts. Here express and constant app equal to express. Okay. And export equal to then it can be exported like what we have written here. Export equal to router means this file can be exported. So here also I am writing same thing. And here I need to provide the connection from between api.ts and empcontroller.ts. So I have already written that export for empcontroller.ts. So I am going to import that file. Import EMP controller. Okay. See, I am going to import that EMP controller and I have given some name. You can give any name. Okay. And here app.use of and here give this control name. Okay. Here we have to give some name which exists in endpoint URL. Okay. I will give that name later. And so till now we have created EMP controller.ts and I have put all the APIs inside that EMP controller.ts, and then I have created api.ts file, and in this file, this is the origin file for controller folder. Okay. If you create number of controllers, then you can create it .ts file. And then here we need to import that controllers. Okay. So, and go to the app.ts file. And here I have to import that api.ts file, which exists in controller folder. Okay. So, import from, and here API, and here controller / API. Okay. See, go to the steps here. So in EMP controller.ts, created one folder and .ts file EMP controller.ts, copy all APIs and use router instead of app, export router, and api.ts file, create api.ts file in controller folder, use express method and import that controller, EMP controller, and assign URL name. So I didn't assign that URL name. Okay. I will assign. So export express method. Then app.ts import that controller/API file. Okay, so this is the import API from controller/API file. Okay, so I have given API name and assign URL name. Here I am using app.use. I am writing and /API and API. Okay, this API means this one. Okay, and go to the here, or else you can see this is the endpoint URL. Okay, localhost 4000 PostgreSQL API CRUD insert query. Okay, so here you can give PG API and here PG API. Okay, now see, up to this it is fine. Okay, PG API. So whenever request comes, this kind of request comes, then first control goes to the app.ts file. Okay, so after this localhost 4000, where it is available, PG API. Okay, so here PG API is there. Okay, control goes to here, this point, and PG API means API/API. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. No, not here. Here, PG API. Okay, at this point, what is mean by PG API means API. Okay, that means control goes to the API.ts file, which is available in controller. That means this one. Okay, once it is control reached at this point, then CRUD. Okay, so if you write CRUD here, then control goes to this point. Okay, like imagine that number of files are there. CRUD1, CRUD2, like that. Okay, here number of controllers are there. Okay, imagine that. Okay, so then control goes to this point only. Why? Because we have clearly mentioned that CRUD. Okay, so remaining files, it will not control, does not goes to remaining files. Okay, and here what is mean by this CRUD means EMP controller. What is EMP employee controller? That means go to the employee controller. Okay, so here not insert query, insert, just insert. So insert, where it is insert method. So here insert method will be there. Okay, we will check. So this is our API collection. So go to the insert and we have some parameters before that. So go to the employee table and delete all the records in employee table. Now check. Okay. If you execute this router, see, cannot find this method. Why? Because earlier it was there in app.ts file. Okay. And I have moved that all the API methods to controller.ts file, emp controller.ts file. Okay. So we need to give the specified path, like in app.ts file, PG API. Okay. So PG API and next CRUD. CRUD. Next, in this, go to the employee controller, insert method. Okay, take that insert method. Now execute it. Cannot post. Yeah. A.ts export. Number of records inserted. See, serial number is 14. So go to here, 714. Okay. So if you want, you can insert one more record, 8H, 8H, 8H. Okay. And like that, if you give select, so select means what are the parameters it will expect only department number, salary. Okay. So I am passing department number. Like that, you can department number 20 and here 6,000. So we have 3 records. Okay, I am passing department number 20 and what we have written the condition, salary less than 7,000. So in select department salary 20. See. Okay, select method is also working fine. Update. And I'm going to update the salary for employee number 9. It is 7,000. Update success. So 9, 6,000 are there. So 7,000, it should be 7,000. And delete. Delete success. So employee number 9 has been deleted. Okay. So like that.